from the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation, Outdoor Oklahoma.
Well, hello and welcome to Outdoor Oklahoma. I'm Todd Craighead, and today I'm joined by Melinda Strike, the Assistant Director for us here at the Wildlife Department. Thanks for joining me today.
Glad to be here, Todd.
Today we're going to be talking fishing, and specifically striper fishing at Texoma and paddle fishing up in northeast Oklahoma. I take it you've done both, right?
I have had an opportunity to do both. Just very recently got to go out and do some paddle fishing. Total, I think we snagged about 15 or 16, a group of us, in
Wow.
catch and release, and just had a blast.
You know, it's a lot of fun. And the nice thing about stripers and paddle fishing is that it lends itself well to introducing someone new to fishing. And one of the reasons is because you can actually hire a guide to take you out that knows the lake, that knows how to fish for them and helps find those fish. And when it comes to guides, I tend to think about the economic impact that fishing has on our state, and it's very impressive.
It is, Todd, extremely impressive. Some of the statistics show that in Oklahoma we have 611,000 anglers, and out of that 611,000 anglers, they spend about $522 million in a year. Jobs that are related to the fishing industry or fishing related type of jobs come in somewhere around 10,300 jobs.
My goodness.
Overall impact of this economy on the state of Oklahoma is somewhere around $900 million.
My goodness,
So
that is impressive.
Huge impact on our economy.
You bet. Now, when it comes to stripers and paddle fishing, those are quintessential Oklahoma opportunities. And we're going to be fishing today with another quintessential Oklahoman, that being Blake Shelton. I think you've spent some time with Blake. I have too. Isn't he a lot of fun?
Blake is a lot of fun and just a true and a really great ambassador for the state of Oklahoma.
You bet. He does it all. And in fact, even when his career was really taking off, he decided to move back to Oklahoma from Nashville just so he could hunt and fish more. So today we're going to be with him on Lake Texoma and up on Grand Lake. You ready?
Sounds fun.
Country music sensation Blake Shelton grew up in Ada, Oklahoma. His family recognized early both his talent and love for music. So at the age of 12, his mother sent a tape to a local live country music show. By the time Blake was 16, he was singing at weddings and parties. He then soon went on to beat out 3,500 other contestants in a statewide talent contest to receive the Denbo Diamond Award in 1992, Oklahoma's highest honor for young entertainers. After high school, Blake pursued a music career in Nashville that has undeniably positioned him as one of country music's most popular artists today. To date, Blake has charted 17 singles, including 6 #1 hits. But it's more than just his music that gives him so much appeal. Blake never apologizes for nor lost touch with his self-acknowledged hillbilly roots. From reality TV to Twitter and the guest of many hunting TV shows, Blake's straight-faced humor and love for the outdoors have become his trademarks. Today, Blake lives back home in south central Oklahoma and spends as much time planning his next hunting or fishing trip as he does his next album.
Hey y'all, we're catching stripers out here on Lake Texoma, only on Outdoor Oklahoma.
We soon found out that it's hard to stay on schedule or get much fishing done when Blake's around. Everyone wants a picture with or an autograph from the country music star, and he's always gracious to oblige.
Hey everybody, we're here today with Blake Shelton, who's fishing for stripers on Lake Texoma. Lake Texoma was constructed in 1944, impounded on the Red River watershed, and encompasses about 88,000 surface acres. Lake Texoma is home to one of the best striped bass fisheries in the nation, but it also attracts anglers for white bass and catfish as well. One thing to keep in mind when you're fishing on Lake Texoma is whether or not you're on the Oklahoma or the Texas side. You can purchase a Lake Texoma license, which covers you for both states if you'd like to do so. As of last year, 2009, zebra mussels were found in Lake Texoma, and they've become pretty well distributed throughout the lake. We encourage anglers and boaters when they leave the lake to wash down their boats, trailers, and any equipment that came in contact with the water. This ensures that we don't spread zebra mussels to other lakes. For more information about aquatic nuisance species or zebra mussels, log on to our website at wildlifedepartment.com.
Really, let him bend it over real hard.
You got a gar on? I got a fish on right here. Or is that just my minnow kicking?
I got to really bend it over.
I'm about to catch one. I'm about to be on Outdoor Oklahoma catching a fish.
Start jacking it. Do you leave it or reel it in?
I'll check my bait. Yeah, I'll check it.
About to be drying up.
Pretty good size.
Oh, back. Pot belly is what you call it? Cinco! Did you miss it? No, we're never going to win it. Cinco! We're never going to win the tournament. Keep missing them. Look, it's been taking over 5 minutes.
Trout fish free.
See on?
Oh no, you're on
Went up across, my fish went across to you. You did it?
Nah, you get big. You'll be fine.
Ah!
Your line's loose now. Pointed out. Y'all are both caught too, had you? Only caught one so far, but he was the dominant fish. Hey, Jim's got
Goofing off.
You miss him again?
What's he doing? This is on TV. I'm really starting.
yes, sir.
I got one flying south. Finally found an anchor. He's got my Barbie in it. Don't feel like it.
Oh, it is good fish, that ultralight. Yes!
Hey, we may win this tournament. I thought if they got broken stripes, they're a hybrid.
No, they're team crew and probably got broken stripes.
Well, you know, if today's show looks familiar to you, it's where we took the photograph for the 2010 fishing guide with Blake out on Texoma. And Melinda, let's talk a little bit about how the Wildlife Department is funded, because I think a lot of people are not aware of how it all works.
I think you're right, Todd. We are actually, the Wildlife Department, one of the very few agencies that receive zero state appropriations.
Wow.
Primarily our funding comes from the sale of hunting and fishing licenses. I'd say about 50% of all of our revenue comes from the direct sale of hunting and fishing licenses. In addition to that, we receive federal excise money, that is excise tax paid in on hunting and fishing equipment, and then Oklahoma receives a certain portion of that back. The federal funds probably generate about 40% of our revenue, and then we have about 10% that's coming from other sources like contributions, oil and gas revenue, the wildlife license plates that we sell.
Well, good. Well, I find it interesting that most people don't realize that if they want to be a true conservationist in Oklahoma, the best thing they could do would be to buy a hunting or fishing license. And then the next thing after that would be go buy a fishing pole or a camo hat or something, because all that generates money that helps fund our agency.
Absolutely, because that directly attributes of how much the federal funds that we get back. There's a fancy little formula, but the bottom line is they look at the number of anglers and the number of hunters that we have in Oklahoma, and that is one of the factors that drives how much of the federal revenue that we get back to our state. The next thing you can do besides buying a license is take somebody hunting or fishing.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to do in the second half of today's show when we take Blake Shelton to Grand Lake to do a little paddle fishing. But first, this week's Outdoor News Report.
We're here today with Blake Shelton, who's snagging for paddlefish on the Grand River system, which is found on the upper end of Grand Lake. Grand Lake encompasses about 46,000 surface acres, and it's home to one of the most pristine paddlefish populations in the world. People come from all over to snag into one of these prehistoric beasts. Grand Lake not only has the paddlefish population, but it attracts anglers for crappie fishing, catfish, and also bass. Now, with the paddlefish program, there has been some new regulations set in place this year, so make sure you grab a copy of our regs or check on our website for those changes. Now, we're worried about an aquatic nuisance species that has become established in this system, and that's the bighead carp. Bighead carp are filter feeders just like the paddlefish. Paddlefish open their mouths, they suspend themselves in the water column and feed on tiny plankton, same as the bighead carp. If you find one of these bighead carp or happen to snag into one, please notify Wildlife Department or bring it to our paddlefish center there at Twin Bridges. If you'd like any more information about bighead carp or our paddlefish program, get on wildlifedepartment.com.
Hello, everybody. We are we're bluegill fishing here on the Grand River in northeastern Oklahoma. I got one.
I want a gar.
Gone.
Pretty good. Look at him. He's hooked his own line around. You lassoed him.
That's how every one of them is done.
Ties him up. This bluegill fishing's nice, isn't it? Wear you down, bluegill.
Now, is that a female?
Yep.
You don't want to keep those females.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just look. Talking to you.
God! I recall Central Park in fall. Huh?
It's in your hands, bro.
I'm keeping it.
Well, isn't Blake a lot of fun on the water?
Blake is definitely a lot of fun.
That's right. I've become a big fan, not just because I've spent a day with him on the water, but because he's just funny. That's all there is to it. He's funny.
He truly enjoys the sport like most of our anglers in the state do. Todd, did you know that the Oklahoma angler spends 17 days a year fishing?
I did not know that.
Okay, did you know that the average Oklahoma hunter spends 24 days afield?
I did not know that either.
Well, gee, you'd think you'd know all this. One more that actually I was reading a report and ran across this little tidbit of information that opening day of deer gun season in Oklahoma is Oklahoma's largest recreational activity. It has more people participating than on the busiest day of the Oklahoma State Fair.
Is that right? Wow, that's incredible. Now, I didn't know that stuff, but I do know where you got that information, and that's out of our annual report. Is that right?
You're right, Todd. The department publishes an annual report every year, and it's not just your average boring statistical document, although
Right.
it does provide a lot of good information about our budget, our expenditures, as well as our revenues. It also kind of summarizes the highlights or our accomplishments of the last year, and then it has a lot of fun-filled little facts, like I was just rattling off, about the importance of wildlife conservation and just the wildlife department in general.
Well, that's great. And if you'd like your own copy of our annual report, you can always just contact us, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Great.
just give us a call and we'll send you a copy of it.
Well, Melinda, thanks for joining me today. It's been fun.
It has been fun. Thanks, Todd.
We'll see you somewhere new next time on Outdoor Oklahoma.